Hello everyone, this is gonna be a quick video about PvE, since a lot of people have been asking what I do for PvE. Currently I run healer as bow and one for the PvE usually, but when I'm playing Dagger and one I usually use those builds for DPS and sometimes for healing, but I usually avoid healing because of our lack of mana regen. But I usually use those three builds. So one's gonna be for AoE damage, they're gonna use to clear mobs on dungeons and open dungeons. And one's gonna be for single target damage that you can use for the final bosses or just for the dimensional bosses and stuff like that. And the last one's gonna be for healing, which I don't really recommend, but you can try, and if you need to heal for some reason, you can try to use that. Alright, the first one is very simple. As you can see, you just use a bunch of specs that makes your skills AoE or increase your AoE damage. You use some passives that also help in your AoE DPS overall. And you use two passives that helps you with mana regen, because even if you're doing AoE damage, you still need a lot of mana regen because we are very mana hungry, and usually the builds that we use don't use a lot of mana regen, and we don't have a lot of wisdom, so it does struggle a lot with that. The idea of the build is very simple. You're gonna prep some buffs, and you're gonna do a lot of DPS with the AoE slash dagger part, spreading poison and reducing their endurance. After doing that, you're just gonna combo with the 3 stacks of despair and spread the AoE with karmic. Instead of using the book to buff yourself with the skill damage boost, you're gonna be using it to remove the enemy skill damage resistance and spreading that with the karmic instead of spreading the sleep. And then you just AoE explode them. So it's very useful. Everyone in your party is gonna do more damage as well. It's a very solid combo. You can even farm by yourself because you have enough healing to do that. Just a reminder, if you're gonna use the PvE build for farming, you can change your status for like 50 strength, and the rest you can put all on the dexterity. You don't need any other status, basically. You can hit with really low perception. You can put some wisdom if you want to get more mana or mana regen, but I don't think it's worth it, so just go like 50 strength and the rest full dex. Unless you're healing. If you're healing, you want to go full wisdom actually. For the single targets, the opposite, right? You, instead of focusing on AoE, all your passives and skills are focused on doing single target damage. That's the same for passives. Be aware that on the single target, you're going to be struggling a lot with mana, because you're not going to be using the mana passives that you get extra mana regen when you kill mobs. So you're going to run off mana really quick. So if you want to change a skill for the health pool that has mana regen, like plus 40 mana per tick, right? You can do that if you're struggling with mana. Another thing I highly recommend is always keeping mana potions up and using things like the omelette food that increase the mana regen, and you can combo that with the mushroom food that also increases your mana regen. The rotation is very simple. You're gonna be popping your buffs, your poison, your extra damage, and you're gonna want to use the book that removes the skill resist, and popping a dot, the despair curse to start. Then you're gonna want to use all the other dagger skills to try to reduce the endurance stacks, right, with the thunderclouds, and stack 20 poison. With 20 poison stacked, your cooldown for the touch of despair is gonna be back already, hopefully. And then you can do the touch of despair, you can throw the other curse, and you can use the karmic to increase the time of every curse by 5 seconds and explode. But before doing that, you wanna use your inject poison thing and your stigma to do max damage with the 20 poison stacks plus the extra thundercloud stacks. So that's basically your rotation. You're gonna be wanting to always try to stack 3 stacks of Touch of Despair and keep that uptime. When your curse explosion is up, you're gonna want to put out your curses and increase the time with Karmic before exploding. Same as the PvP build, basically. And with the poison stacks, you always want to keep at 20 and use the inject poison and the stigma before exploding, because when you do curse explosion, you lose all the poison stacks as well. So keep that in mind. If you're doing that on trials or something that needs times, the dimensional thing, you can pop the attack pot, right? The small or the medium slash big one. I don't know the name. To do the big burst, so you do like stacks, and when you're gonna explode, you can pop the attack potion. And that's about it. For the last build, like I said before, you can use the mana potions and mana food, and I highly suggest that you put the max wisdom points that you can, because you're gonna run off mana all the time, and that blows, to be honest. Playing healer as one dagger without having a specific build of items for that is gonna be really tough. But you can use this set of skills that I made. One really important thing is you're gonna play healer normally, like you're just using the one parts mostly. But for the dagger part, what you're gonna want to be using is the thunder clouds and the thunder dagger things to reduce endurance of the mobs or the boss to help your party do more crit damage more consistently. Not only that, what you're gonna be wanting to use is the smoke. The smoke can actually remove a lot of DPS, because a lot of things in this game are melee projectile on mobs usually. So that can help a lot if you can put the smoke on top of your party. And one last trick, you can use your camouflage, the invisible skill, and use the health pool right after, and that will increase the healing by a lot, because every time you use a skill after the camouflage, it crits, right? So if you use that with the health pool, every tick is gonna be a crit. It's how it works. So you can use the camouflage and the health pool on the floor, and you're gonna be like with the health pool with permanently critting on the heals. So that's one extra trick. You can use it with the clay salvation as well if you wanna do a big AOE healing. But that's about it. There really isn't much to do with that. It's just if you wanna do heal with dagger, one you probably should look into some gears that have mana regen, because you're gonna need it. It's not really that good compared to one bow, for example, in my opinion, but you can make it work if you need. But that's about it. Thank you for watching. See ya.